He's got one blind left plus change. In poker, there's a famous quote that separates dreamers from quitters. Anything can happen in poker. All you need is a chip and a chair. And no one proved that more than George Holmes, a 49-year-old amateur from Atlanta who decided to bet on himself and enter the 2021 WSOP main event with dreams of taking home $8 million and poker's most iced-out bracelet. But George wasn't a poker pro. He was a finance guy who usually only played in home games with his buddies. By day 7, Holmes was still standing. With only 27 players remaining, his dream was well within reach. Then suddenly disaster struck, leaving him with just one big blind and his poker dreams on life support. But the moment everyone thought his dream was coming to an end is when the impossible started to begin. This is the incredible story of how a home game hero orchestrated the most unbelievable tournament run in WSOP history.
And Holmes had been down to one big blind, you may recall.
Ark collects a straight draw on the turn.
Now an 8 or a 10 would knock out George Holmes.
The river card is a 6. 2 pair for Holmes. He had a chip and he keeps his chair.
Against all odds, Holmes tripled up. But he was still desperately short-stacked. Most players would play it safe in this spot and try to ladder up a few pay jumps. But George Holmes is built different. He had tasted death and survived. Now he was playing with house money and was about to prove that sometimes the most dangerous player at the table is the one with nothing left to lose. What happened over the next 90 minutes was jaw-dropping, leaving commentators and everyone at the table completely stunned.
From one big blind, this amateur Holmes now with 34 million chips from the 475,000 he had earlier on this day 7.
Don't need to be a pro, never give up, anything can happen.
The home game hero was staging a poker miracle and becoming a legitimate threat, but his biggest moment was yet to come. With the final table in sight, George found himself in a massive pot against one of the most dangerous players in the world, Chance, a high-stakes pro with over 21 million in live tournament earnings and 4 WSOP bracelets to his name.
George Holmes is the main event. Don't need to be a pro, never give up, anything can happen.
Yeah, aces happen. Holmes has them now and saw Chance Corneth open the pot from under the gun. A raise to $1.2 million with ace-king. This amateur Holmes now with 34 million chips from the 475,000 he had earlier on this day 7. Holmes now 3 bets with the aces.
You might hear Holmes' home game buddy on the rail, Gordon Davis, who keeps shouting out, "Show them the lights, George."
Back to the aggressive Corneth, who will test you on every street possible.
Be interesting to see if Chance Corneth can see the light here. You know, earlier on day 7, Corneth flopped a flush with ace-queen suited against pocket aces to knock out Dennis Predvor.
Oh, wow. All in with the ace-king. Cool. And it's not going to take any time for George Holmes, and the legend of Holmes taking on a new dimension now.
A disaster for Chance Corneth. He goes with his read, and with 42 bigs in his stack, he's up against one of the 2 hands that absolutely crush him, pocket aces.
And here is the flop. And boom, just like that, it is over. Chance Corneth drawing dead on the flop.
In one devastating cooler, George had eliminated one of the tournament's most dangerous players and vaulted himself from one big blind to chip leader in a matter of hours. After a few more eliminations, only 9 players remained, setting the stage for the final table and an opportunity to pull off the comeback of the century. Moments later, he picked up 2 queens and sent his first opponent to the rail, knocking out Jareth East in 8th place. Immediately, he went right back to work as he looked to eliminate another top pro in the very next hand.
Folded to Park in the big blind, Jack 9. He was the chip leader to begin day 7 with 29 million.
He's been pretty card dead down the stretch. He started playing poker on a Navy ship when he was in the Marines.
And it's a lot easier here to play poker because those tables don't bob up and down there in the Rio. Yeah. All right, Park's going to come along. Here is the flop. Top pair for Henry. 2 more diamonds for George.
Boy, Lionel, when we have a flop like this, I always want to edge closer to the table. Do you mind if I leave the booth?
No, not at all.
I don't like the way you said that. I'm going to stay.
Park checked. Holmes rarely checks.
Well, Park now under 20 bigs. With that flop, he's going to get it all in the middle now. Look at this. Is King George versus O. Henry. There, I said it. He's going to get it all into the middle now.
Henry Park. It's a check raise, but he does not get it all in the middle now.
What, suddenly I'm a poker expert? Leave me be.
Check raise to $5 million.
All in.
Yeah, he's testing Park for it all. And Henry calls and hangs his championship hopes on a pair of nines. Holmes in search of help still.
Jack 9. Jack 9.
Diamonds.
Jack 9.
No, one diamond. One diamond.
I believe Gordon Davis needs to remove his mask to be heard. Park, meanwhile, has a more reserved, normal rail.
George Holmes trying to hit a card and get us one player shorter. A couple of more winning cards onto Holmes' ledger.
An ace, 5, or diamond would knock out Henry Park.
But it's the 3 of spades.
That significant setback cost Holmes a huge chunk of his stack. But instead of tightening up, he doubled down on aggression, showing no fear, even versus the chip leader, who is also one of the best tournament players in the world.
Karai Aldemir in full stride now, under the gun, raising with Queen 6 of diamonds.
Yeah, he's getting real feisty with squad douche. Queen 6 suited under the gun with the raise.
Over to Holmes now. Queen Trey of hearts.
He cashed in his first main event in 2019, so he's now 2 for 2.
And Holmes gets busy with the lesser hand. That's a 3-bet to 4.8 million with position.
Yeah, Holmes is unrelentingly sneaky aggressive. He's far more active than he looks. He has many different ways to show him the lights.
Lococo, small blind, small ace, second biggest stack. Lococo will give up the suited ace. Back to Aldemir now.
See, Karai, I'd keep this guy out of your home game too.
Well, Queen 6 of diamonds, the best hand here, and he makes the call for 2.8 million more. Two big guns to the flop. Now he had the best hand. Holmes flops the heart flush. Action on Aldemir.
Check.
He's gonna check it.
Take a snapshot of those percentages next to their names. Unheard of in these parts.
That's 3 million.
3 million. No posturing from Holmes.
Holmes hoping Aldemir has something like a big pocket pair to continue, but all Karai has is a gut shot.
Karai got a purple 5 million chip in there, a check raise.
Woo. How many times have we seen Aldemir misread or misstep this badly? I can't think of one. Stop the presses.
There are no presses anymore. Print newspapers, Norman, all but dead.
Thank you, Mr. Killjoy. And I hold you personally responsible for the demise of newspapers.
A call from Holmes, of course. Karai does check again.
All in.
Ooh. Hello.
I have diamonds, not hearts. He's red.
There you go.
The commentators couldn't believe it. A recreational player 3-betting the chip leader with Queen 3 suited? This wasn't the play of a scared amateur. This was a man who had stared elimination in the face and was now out for blood.
He has been fun to watch, George in the big blind right now. Henry Park has the action. Retired U.S. Marine has viewed this main event from the top perch. He led the field to start day 7 with pocket tens, a raise to 2 million.
Park lives in Edgewater, New Jersey. George Holmes, originally from New Jersey. What a presence New Jersey has had at this main event final table over the last decade. Josh Beckley, William Tonking, Tom Canuli, Mike Rowan, and of course 2017 champion Scott Blumstein.
Blinds right now at $500,000 and $1 million, with the 1 million chip. Big blind Andy Holmes comes along for $1 million. Heads up with Park. Park still good with the 10s, which are bolstered by a flush draw now. Holmes checks to Park, who sits about in the middle of the pack here with 7 players left. Check back. Another 7 keeps Park a huge favorite.
I'm not even sure why George Holmes is in this pot. I would have folded this hand in the big blind. If you defend your big blind too often, you've got no big blinds left to defend.
Ooh, I like that. T-shirt material. A bet from Holmes here.
Yeah, that's the hidden George Holmes. No pair, no draw, seemingly no hope, lots of heart. If he senses weakness, he shows strength. And I think Park, checking the flop, got what he wants. I think he wanted Holmes stabbing at it.
And there is a call with one oversized royal purple chip worth $5 million. Change coming.
The way Park just flicks that chip in there, it's very tilting to me.
Now what, gentlemen? Holmes' aggression was matched somewhat reluctantly on the turn.
Yeah, what now, home game hero?
Holmes reaching.
Really?
Yeah, really. Ooh, a lot of the purples. 27 million?
Into a pot of 12? Maybe it's brain freeze and George thinks he stumbled into a Kardashian undergarment auction. he just bet more than half his stack with air, just 24 bigs left if Park calls. But he's telling Park, if you do call and you lose, you're down to 8 bigs.
And there is the fold.
How does a home game player make a play like that? He was no longer just surviving. He was outplaying world-class professionals. As the final table dwindled, Holmes found himself facing a familiar foe in a crucial spot. The same player who had nearly crushed his main event dreams on day 7.
What do we know about this kid, Lon?
Wow, not much, really. I don't have anything on the guy.
Well, this is a tweener call here for George Holmes. It's a pretty hand, Queen Jack suited, but it's for more than a third of his stack. I don't know if Queen Jack suited is quite strong enough. If Holmes loses, he'd be the short stack.
Yeah, that kind of hand. He does reluctantly make the crying call.
Yeah, that was a crying, sighing, moaning call.
So Oliver at risk again and again with a better hand. Oliver has been in this spot before. And there is top pair for Jack, which does not alter George's needs.
I would not want to be Jack Oliver's stomach right now.
The turn card. Everyone on pins and needles here in the Amazon room. And Holmes takes the lead with the Jack. Oliver has 5 outs now to keep his seat. The river card is a 9, and Jack Oliver is counted out of this main event.
Poker has a funny way of coming full circle. The irony was perfect. The man who had reduced Holmes to 1 big blind was now eliminated by him in 3rd place. He got the ultimate revenge and was now heads up for poker's most prestigious title. But in the words of the late great Kobe Bryant, there was still one player standing in his way of $8 million and a WSOP main event bracelet, Corey Aldermere. A world-class German pro with every advantage except one, a fearless Mamba-like mentality.
Joes versus pros. Can the home game guy overcome the experienced, decorated chip leader heads up to win the world title?
Aldermere opening the action with 7 tray of hearts with a raise. Holmes now with 5 deuce. Okay, Norman heads up. It's all about every hand being a hand.
Karai Aldermere, meet George Holmes. Rec player, banking guy, and maybe the most dangerous heads-up opponent you could have drawn from this final table.
A 3-bet to $9 million.
And remember, Holmes, not just a home game guy, he was down to 1 big blind. What an epic comeback.
No way he's folding. If George wants to play big pots, that's just fine with the German pro. And they've already built a pot of $20 million.
I mean, 7-3 raises, 5 deuce re-raises, 7-3 calls. Is nothing sacred anymore?
Amazingly, Karai best pre-flop, best post-flop with a pair of 3s. George with a gut shot.
In 1982, there was legendary Jack Strauss winning the main event with a chip and a chair. In 2012, Greg Merson had 2 blinds with about 150 players left. And now in 2021, George Holmes was down to 1 blind with 25 players left.
Holmes with the now popular 1/4 pot bet of $5 million.
Well, it's hard to make a pair, according to Antonio Esfandiari. Sadly, that line is his legacy. So, of course, Aldemir is continuing here.
Holmes pairs up as if he needed more gumption to move his chips.
Holmes played the main event in 2019 for the first time, finished 213th. Great showing, hard to top. Well, he's topped it in his second main event.
Boy, did he ever. And now emboldened with his pair, bets $13 million.
Of course, he was going to fire again when he made a pair. Nothing revolutionary from Aldemir to get to this point. Solid, steady poker, solid reads. Plus, he's been running extraordinarily well.
$13 million from him. $56 million in the middle. The river card brings the ace of diamonds. An ace is rarely not scary.
The ace does get there. The flush gets there. This is a Pepto-Bismol board. That's a Rolaids hand. Who can stomach this?
The beauty of heads up. Every action is so important, and Holmes is bringing it. $40 million with the fastball.
That's a big bet,
That's
Lon.
a big bet. And it sheds Aldemir. George's wife Felicia braving the raucous rail. Most of Aldemir's chip lead is gone.
For hours, they battled back and forth. The chip lead changed hands multiple times. Then came the biggest defining moment of the entire tournament. Holmes, who had 1 chip, 1 dream, was now 1 final hand away from becoming a poker legend.
Fun fight so far. Holmes on the button and the small blind. King Queen, a raise to $6 million. Aldemir 10-7 of diamonds.
We allow no pros in my home game, so Aldemir is out. But as I have said many, many times in the past week, George Holmes is doubly out, and he's a credit card processing and services business guy.
$14.5 million in the middle.
Aldemir's had all he can handle.
There's a 7 and a 10. Aldemir flops top 2, and he quickly checks.
That's a pretty good flop for 10-7.
Yeah, pretty good.
There are better flops, but this feels like top 5, maybe top 3.
So Holmes is going to continue. Has to continue here. $6 million.
I don't know if he has to continue, but he's got no quit in him. Though I think most folks would just take a free turn card here with King Queen.
One reason you raise pre-flop is to protect your hand, but in heads up, all bets are off and all bets are on. Aldemir now with 2 pair and the check raised to $19 million.
Yeah, Aldemir protecting his hand against any draws Holmes might have. Now, most humans would probably lay this down facing that check raise, but George Holmes is not most humans. Heck, he might 3-bet it here.
We've seen him speed right through stop signs before. And he does make the call. Turn card is a king for Holmes. His lot is improved, but he's still way behind. He's not checking here. Hoping George has a piece of that board. $36.5 million.
Aldemir betting more than 2/3 of the pot, and it gets serious now for George Holmes.
More than a 4-1 underdog is Holmes right now. He's going to make this call, Norman. Gulp from Aldemir as the chips go in for the call. Pot has swelled to over $125 million. River card, the 9 of clubs, the safe card for Aldemir. His 2 pair are best. And he does check.
All in.
Whoa! George Holmes wants to play for it all.
This might be it. This might be it.
If Karai calls, it's all over, baby.
He does make the call. Holmes shows the king and Aldemir puts his signature on this main event master.
George Holmes didn't win the WSOP main event, but in many ways he won something more valuable. He proved that the impossible is possible. All you need is a chip and a chair and the heart of a champion.